I look around at these kids in this generation. I can say kids now because I'm 29. And I just think, pathetic. Like, I don't know where you're going to end up. I just don't, like, a lot of these kids, I just don't know how their lives are going to unfold, because you just think you're being pushed around by everybody. You're basically like a rubber float that's been thrown into the water, a plastic bottle, and the ocean's deciding where you're going to go. You're going to go that way. You're going to go that way. Now we're going to chuck you under here. We're going to fill you with water. We're going to make you sink. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. If that's where you want me to go. That's how I see this generation. They're wishy-washy. They don't have concrete plans. They don't have the level of confidence that I have. They don't believe in themselves. I told you guys I was going to make a video on being comfortable with being the king. This is it. I'm comfortable with being the king. Not everybody wants that title, because there's a lot of responsibility. You know, everybody's looking at you. You get to a certain level and there's a certain level of expectation. You have like an aura about you, and people are like, you know, he has to be at a certain level and whatnot. Some people don't want to accept that. People don't want dominance over others. People don't want employees because they're like, oh, I don't want to tell them what to do. I don't want to upset people. You've got to be okay with being the king. You've got to be okay with making enemies. Like if for example, GQ said we declare all-out war with 1STMAN, I'd be like, you're fucked. You're fucked. And I'd make it apparent. I'd make it public. You know, I'd go toe-to-toe with them and I wouldn't stop. I'd work harder than ever. I'd just be like, I'm going to smash through this company because they're all fickle. I can do more work in a day than 100 of their employees can do because they don't actually give a shit. The reason I'm telling you all this, guys, is to display my mentality in real time. I'm trying to get things from here. I'm extracting them and throwing them at that camera so that you can see and hear them, okay? You need to understand what a relentless man looks and sounds like, okay? Somebody with a work schedule that's like 5 a.m. in the gym, straight at his desk at like 8 a.m. in the morning, eating completely clean food because diet is just important as everything. You know, everything's meticulous. This time has to be bang on schedule. We've got this coming in at this time. It just, like, you need to find people like that where their whole lives are just immaculate. Like, they wake up on a Saturday morning at 7 a.m. They're in the gym. They're back at the desk at 9 a.m. You might not want to live like that long term. I don't want to live like that long term. But for a particular section of your life, you might have to, okay? And when you come across guys like this, it happens in the music industry all the time. People say, I thought I was working hard until I met Rick Ross or Lil Wayne or Drake or whatever. And then I realized what I was doing was shocking. Like, I was lazy. I'd taken my foot off the gas. Or I thought I was training hard to be the world's greatest footballer. And then I trained with Ronaldo. And now I've been sleeping for 2 weeks straight. It's like, yeah, certain people are just killers. They're just killers. They just got this mindset. If you want to read a really good book, there's a book called Relentless. A guy called Jordan something. I read it years ago. It's a black book with red writing, but it's basically about basketball players, and he coached them. So he trained Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and I think Dwayne Wade, and he was talking about a killer's mentality. When you read that, or if you go and watch the Michael Jordan The Last Dance documentary, you see that. That's it in real life. Certain men have that, okay? And I'm just saying to you, even if you're not that type of guy, and so, like, for example, somebody says something to you and you don't like it and you want to speak up, but you go, no, I don't want to upset them. I don't want to, I don't know. I want to make sure everybody's happy and likes me. I want to make sure I've got friends. Fuck that, right? Speak up. But if you're the type of guy who has that mentality and pussyfoots around, hear what I'm saying to you and just deploy it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%. Just turn it up. Imagine you've got a dial. Somebody like a Michael Jordan's at 100, you know, or a Steve Jobs. You're currently at like a 5. Just turn yours up to like a 20, 25, 30. Just see how much your life improves when you go, fuck what people think, fuck people in general. I'm just going to maraud through life. I'm going to do whatever I want. If I've got competitors, I'm going to squash them. Fuck everybody. I'm going to make enemies along the way. Like, I'm not talking step on people. I'm just saying, when you've got this ruthless mentality of, you know, your friends are like, oh, you never come out anymore. Yeah, well, fuck off. I don't care. Like, I'm trying to make it to the top. What do you mean I never come out anymore? What are you trying to say? Like, just say it. Come out with it. Come on. Like, that kind of mentality, that, like, sophisticated toughness. You can be a real nice guy, but you don't take any bullshit. I'm telling you guys, this might sound silly to so many of you. To be fair, Dan Pena talks about this exact same thing. His dad used to beat him. And I remember he said, it was about his brother. His brother made a statement where he said, if my dad beat me as much or as hard as he beat Dan, I would be as successful as Dan today. He was like, but he didn't, right? And I've kind of had the same upbringing where my dad beat me. It wasn't like hard or what. Well, to be fair, like leather belt across the arse. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I respected it. Me and my dad were like best mates. When he died, I was devastated. I respected the hell out of him. And I'm not saying to do that to your kids. I probably won't do that to my kids and whatnot. But like when it came to football training, my dad would take me up the fields. I'd have to do sprints relentlessly. Like he'd have this military fucking routine laid out for me. When I went on the football pitch, I was the best player. We drive to, here's his mentality, it's what I grew up with. We drive to football matches on a cold day. Most parents would be like, let's put the heating on, make sure you're warm. You turn the heating off, open all the windows. I was like, why are you doing that? So that when you get on the pitch, it's going to be warmer than it was in the car because you're getting blasted by cold air. He was like, otherwise, if you put the heaters on, you're going to be soft. By the time you get on the pitch, you're going to feel like a pansy. I was like, okay, like that was his mentality, okay? That's kind of shit I grew up with. So the way I think is completely different. Like I saw my dad stand up to people immediately. Like in a pub, my dad would buy a pint and the next one was the next guy. You know, and the next guy would go, I don't know if I want to get one. He'd stand up, grab the guy and he'd be like, you're buying that fucking pint because I bought one, they bought one, don't be a tight cunt. Fair enough. Right? It's a very British thing, but it's like, yeah, fair enough. The Aussies will know what I'm talking about as well. The Australians are very similar. I think guys in New York are quite similar. You know, places like Ohio, I think they've sort of got like good solid roots in place as well. But the Brits and the Aussies, you know, the people in the UK in general just know what I'm talking about there. It's just that good moral compass. And that's what I call sophisticated toughness. You can dress like an Italian. You can look as good as you want. You can do your grooming routines, etc. But be willing to put a fist clean through somebody's teeth, okay? It could be metaphorical. I'm just saying that. I don't want to go against community guidelines. You gauge it for what you think it was. Be willing to stand up for yourself. Always speak up for yourself. Always speak your mind, even if it puts you in a shitty situation. Like I've done that multiple times. I've said the truth. I've always said what it should be, even if it makes me look bad. Live and die with the consequences, okay? Live and die by the sword. And I expect the same in return. Like if I try and maraud my way through life and I come up against somebody who's the same as me and they beat me, I'll shake your hand. Like if I got in a fight with somebody and they knocked me clean out, I would wake up, I'd shake their hand. I wouldn't call the police. I wouldn't go to court and say, oh, I'm going to, like, was what it was. You know, we both decided, let's scrap it out. You knock me out. Fair enough. Get up, shake hands, gypsy style, and let's fuck off. Let's get on with our lives. You need that mentality in life, okay? And if you can deploy that old school man mentality of, I'll get on with it, I'll take that on the chin, I'll keep moving forwards, it's not a problem, you know, everything's like that masculine mentality, because you can go to the gym as much as you want and it will harden you, you know, and you can go to do a labouring job as much as you want and it can harden you and whatever, but you just need it up here. You need to be a little bit tapped, okay? Like myself, you need to be a little bit crazy. If you can just put that in place, and it doesn't have to be forever, you can go and be a family man, have kids, tone down, soften up, be the nicest guy in the world. That's what I plan to do, you know, still with the backbone, but that's what I plan to do in the future. Give more of my time to charity, other people, etc. You know, help the world somewhat instead of being so selfish for the last whatever years. But if you want to be somebody, you want to get anywhere in life, you need to maraud through. You need to become the king, okay? You need to be okay with the king, becoming the king. A lot of people suffer when I teach them about body language. The number one question I always get is, but Chris, when I expand myself, i.e. around the back of a chair and I'm sat like that, they said, don't I look like a dick? Don't other people look at me more? Do I really want that level of attention? I'm not sure if I'm okay with that. That was in my old body language course. The first chapter, I was like, mentality. You need to become okay with being looked at. You need to be okay with being the most dominant man in the room. You need to be okay with being the guy who is the leader, okay? Gets up and says, I'll do the speech. That's okay. Everybody sit down, take your seats. You know, you're controlling the room, you're leading, right? Everybody sit down, right? Quiet, everybody. Having the bollocks to tell a whole room of people, right, quiet now, everybody simmer down. That takes a certain pair of bollocks and it takes a certain mindset. Okay, and it's guys like that that rise to the top of society in all areas. You'll fuck the most girls. You'll steal other people's girlfriends. Not saying you should, but I'm just saying that comes with the territory, okay? They might not even tell you, but, you know, they can feel the added testosterone. They can feel the mindset. It's different. You talk different. You've got more confidence. You got brightness behind your eyes. Do you know what I mean? You walk different, move different. Like, people can sense that shit. People are addicted to it. Everybody wants to be that individual. Why are people so attracted to Conor McGregor? Because everybody wishes that that's what they were in levels of confidence. They might not want to act like him. They might not want to do the antics that he does. They might see him playing a character, but everybody deep down wishes that they had that level of unrelenting confidence to go and do whatever they want to do and be who they want to be. Clip that. That's pretty good.